Hello, friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hi, Levi.
Hello, Jen. Today, we are playing through the Astrologian job quest through level 50. Jen, I take it from your groans that you did not enjoy this?
Not even a little bit.
I did not enjoy this whatsoever either. So I apologize to the Astros out there, but this may be a harsh take cast today.
They're Astrologians in spite of these quests.
Well, when I was doing my supplemental, fact-finding, lookups, whatever, I found quite a few people who were saying that they really liked this job quest.
That's fair.
Great.
Yeah.
Contrary to your prior comment about them liking the job despite the job quest.
In my imagination, that's how it is.
Me too.
No, I actually can see why a lot of people would be drawn to this. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I'll save my overall commentary on it for the end, of course, but I think it kind of boils down to how well the characters and the humor work for you, much like how I love Hildebrand, but many people revile Hildebrand.
Wait, there was humor?
I assume that was meant to be humor.
Interesting. That's the joke.
I got it, Jen.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about the structure of jokes some more.
You first? Are jokes lies or are they truths?
Okay. Anyway, as some preliminary commentary, I previously leveled up Astro to 90 on my main, but I've not played the job at all since the most recent mechanical rework. Also, I had forgotten all of the job quest until this playthrough now, and I can see why, as I found it to be wholly unremarkable.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so much reading.
Jen, we read a lot in this game. I would not call that its main flaw.
It's not a flaw. There's other stuff in this game that requires a lot of reading, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, if you don't like the reading, then it's a chore.
There you go.
Nice. So I have
just fucking the bloviation after bloviation.
Anyway, I was going to say I've only played the quest through level 50 on my pod alt, so if there is something that happens after level 50 that turns it around, then I have not seen that yet and been refreshed on that information. So there may be a reconsideration, or maybe part 2 will be better. I don't know. Either way, Jen, how was your leveling Astrologian experience?
It was pretty easy. I just did command missions and got some pretty significant XP from that.
Cool.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Congrats.
Thanks.
I had a very high concentration of bizarre-ass LDRs.
Oh, well, that was your first mistake.
Incorrect. That is how one levels typically from 30 to
False.
50, unless you're Jin. But I kept getting tanks that would only single pull. And I put in a party chat, hey, feel free to pull more if you want to. And either they were not paying attention or they were not down with
they've been burned. I don't know.
Haste. I don't know. But either way, they were fully silent and they just single pulled the entire dungeon many times over in my journey.
That's really strange.
Including a very boring Stone Vigil where the tank single pulled everything, including like the single mob fights.
No. I mean, I did that. I did Stone Vigil a number of times in the command missions. And I kind of hate all the command missions, to be fair.
Weird.
Brave Flocks is a little snappier. But Stone Vigil was an absolute nightmare because it's a crawl, dude. And then I thought that was bad. And then I did Zemail Darkhold. That was awful.
Yeah, you kept going back.
And then I had to because I was only level 44
you had
or
to
whatever.
And did not want
I had to
LDR.
I had to do that until I was level 47. Then I could do Aurum Vale. And Aurum Vale, top tier, F tier, worst of the worst. It took forever.
Oh my goodness. This is why we do LDR, for that sweet roulette bonus.
I was not confident in my skills because I was still like, okay, what is this, the buff? Is this the shield? Is this the...
We'll talk about that in a second, but I hear you. Astra skills are pretty much white mage skills except for the buff mechanic through level 50.
It's literally white mage. You have the same goddamn button.
Yep. Anyway, Jen, on to my experiences, though. So beyond the single pull nightmares, I had so many fucking Hawk Manors come up. So many Hawk Manors. It was ridiculous. Including one run where I swear the tank was low-key griefing the party. Because they went down every single side path and opened every single door, including the side corridor on the upper level.
Nuh-uh.
And they were not doing it for the loot. Nobody was rolling on the loot. They would click every chest, but nobody rolled.
Were they a mentor?
They were not a mentor, but good burn. And they were not a newbie who didn't know where they're going. They were deliberately going down every single side path before the critical path.
That's fucking funny.
Oh my God, that was...
I mean, there aren't... I don't think there are a lot of opportunities to grief people in this game, having spent some time in Warcraft at this point. And I don't hate it. I think it's great.
Except when you're in the moment.
I mean, if I was like, all right, I got like 25 minutes before I got to get on a bus or something, then I would be pissed.
Anyway, I had some good runs too. I like Hawk Manor a lot when I have a good tank and I'm healing because the tank will do the pulls and it's not so demanding that you have to be spam healing the group pulls.
Yeah.
So I can run, grab the keys, unlock the door, and if the tank is on it, they will see the door is now unlocked and open. I can then chain pull this dying pack into the next stretch to the next wall, and you can keep going and going and going, and it goes by very fast with a good tank. And if the DPS is on it too, then you can kill most mobs before the next wall. So love a Hawk Manor with a good snappy tank. Good times.
And that's why I will never tank Hawk Manor.
Goodness. At any rate, moving on to the job though, and Astrologian in general. Final Fantasy XIV is where Astrologian made its debut in a numbered Final Fantasy title. Though Tactics also has an astrologer job.
It's got to be like the same, right?
No.
No? Okay.
Because Tactics Gen is a very different game.
What?
I find, though, that the theming of Astrologian is fundamentally incompatible with 14's job design, in that 14 takes pains to put all of the non-limited jobs, one for now, but soon to get Beastmaster, I'm hoping, which will be hopefully pretty sweet. Anyways, for all the non-limited jobs, 14 puts them on a relatively level playing field, which flows around the 1 and 2 minute buff window, which is important in end-game content. So we all suffer because of the raiders and their parses or whatever the fuck. Thematically, Astrologian is about two things. One is reading the stars to foretell the future, and two is what is essentially fortune-telling, pulling from a deck of cards that will then kind of see one's future. In this style of game, you can't actually tell the future, of course. This is an in-action game, functionally speaking, where you're teaming up with other players in real time to overcome these challenges. You can't read the future. That's a different game entirely. But what you can do, though, is essentially what our mentor will say in a bit, so I'll read it now because it's relevant. It is not the future that the card predicts, but the card influencing the man so that a certain future becomes more attainable. Seeking to tell a man's fortune, you draw a card from your deck. Upon reading the card, you scry that the man will be victorious in a coming battle. What is it that brings the man his victory, but ether tapped from one of the lower 6 heavens, granting the man strength, making it all that much easier for him to overcome his enemy. So in the mechanics of the game, you are not, of course, reading the future, but you are influencing the future. So it's kind of like a retcon thing where you're saying, hey, person I'm buffing, you're more likely to succeed because I'm buffing you. So it's kind of like a self-reinforcing prediction versus like an actual real prediction.
Yeah.
And this is good theming for what this game is. And I can't think of a better way to portray this kind of reading in a game that is not heavily scripted. Where the theming falls apart, though, is that there's no actual randomization to the draws. In the job's current iteration, your draw mechanic swaps between the astral draw and the umbral draw, and they always draw the same cards. So you're going to put the melee DPS buff on the melee DPS. And you're probably going to put the damage mitt on the tank unless you're in some serious shit at the moment. It's just so predictable, pun intended, that the flavor of the job doesn't come through whatsoever, except that there are card graphics flying around in the air when you do your buffs. But there's no actual manipulation or seeing of the future here is just, okay, here comes the 1 minute flop of cards, put them on the correct people, done.
Yeah. That's why there was a person in the Discord who was like, when I want to turn my brain off, I play Astrologian.
Great. The prior iteration of Astro had a little bit more randomness baked in, and you had a redraw ability, which you would ditch your currently drawn card for a different card. And in the theming of the game, you would defer that reading down the line. And you're like, okay, bad time for this fortune. I will deal with that later.
Mm-hmm.
And a game that was less about a level playing field would probably do something where this job was about playing into the bad fortunes and then optimizing the good ones. How do I best manage this bad flop of cards?
Right.
But again, this is not compatible with the way the game is designed right now. So Astrologian's more like the Buffmancer, pretty much. I think that the Oracle Phantom job from the Dawn Trail Adventure Zone does a far better job mechanically of capturing the theme of Astrologian, or just like a prediction-based job in general.
I haven't played that really at all.
It's fun. It's not super deep.
I remember you saying that you were enjoying it.
I enjoy it. It's not super deep. The Phantom jobs are not deep, obviously, but still it has the glimmer of a different version of Astro built into that Phantom job.
When did Astrologian change? Because I remember when we first started playing, there was the redraw.
Yes, Astro was changed, I think, with the Dawn Trail release or thereabouts in its current version. Because when I was leveling to 90, I was playing the last version during Endwalker.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all that aside. Okay, so as a final gripe, Jen, mechanically speaking, this is what you were talking about. I find the symbology of the Arcana draws to be a bit frustrating. The DPS buff is fine to me. Red goes on the melee. Other color, blue, goes on everyone else. Easy. It's also in like the first draw slot too, so you can kind of parse A or B there. At least I can pretty easily. Red feels more aggressive, therefore it's melee. That makes sense to me. But for the other draws, though, it does not make any sense to me whatsoever. The bull, the green tree, is a damage reduction buff, even though in the visual game language, typically nature and green mean healing. But no, this one is a damage mitt. But the arrow, colored blue, increases the healing the target receives.
Sure.
It seems purely memorization based on the other symbols without really...
Yeah.
They're all flavors of like mitt or healing, but what does what is not apparent to me from the symbology of the card.
Yeah, the thing that helps is the balance, which is the red one, the melee TPS buff, and the ewer, because conceptually those are easy things to follow. There's the snowflake, which is the spear. Looks like a fucking snowflake.
Sure.
And that one always confuses me. The arrow is the
heal up, yeah.
Ewer is the trickle heal, like a regen, and then the spire is a shield.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's like 3 cards that flop out, and they kind of do the same thing as the other 3 cards that flop out.
Yeah. I find that the heal up, the arrow, is the least useful because...
Correct. That's always the one that's left over, and I'm like, I'll do that, and then a regen, I guess.
Tier of content, you don't really need to heal that hard, so you don't have much point for like a heal up.
No.
Great.
It feels bad though, like not using a card. I'm like, I guess that's for you.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
That is my last mechanical gripe, at least as of this tier. I do not like the way the cards were designed visually right now. It does not seem to make intuitive sense. I also find it to be clumsy to weave because I have to target someone, hit the card hotkey, and then reselect the primary target in the span of 1 GCD.
Yes.
Great.
So many fat finger moments.
Okay. Anyway, okay.
Like I put shit on myself by accident so many times.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sorry.
Putting game mechanics aside, let's talk about astromancy in the world. Star reading traces back to the dawn of time. But it was the Charlayans, of course, that turned the practice from mysticism to science. Ironically, though, they pretty much just confirmed that many superstitions were actually science, and then they formalized them. The famed author of the 5 Ages, the Charlayan sage Lufan, devoted 2 decades of his life to compiling a comprehensive study on the merits of stargazing. By analyzing the expansive historical records of man's attempts to read his own future, Lufan hoped to separate the fables of superstition from the more reliable knowledge of evidence-based astrology. What his methodical scrutiny uncovered, however, was that much of the ancients' wisdom was founded in legitimate arcane theory. This revelation shifted the entire focus of his research, and his subsequent efforts to reconstruct and adapt these principles resulted in the creation of astromancy, an art which attuned the wielder's ether to the movement of the heavens. Following Lufan's discoveries, the cards of the fortune teller, previously considered an amusement fit only for children, were re-evaluated from an academic perspective. The deck of arcana, with its cards representative of the constellations, was integrated along with the star globe into a uniquely Charlean discipline of magic.
Cool.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you, Jen, for that feedback.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, for us, the card-based aspects of Astrologian are far more documented than the celestial component. We can tease out some clues from Encyclopedia Eorzea's little snippets about some job abilities. Astral stasis. By throwing wide the gate to the seventh heaven, the highest of the astral domains, the Astrologian favors the battlefield with celestial benediction. This technique is said to hold the power to skew one's fate towards an almost certain victory. Benefic. Astrologians channel healing energies by attuning their ether to the benefic bodies in the heavens. Paired with an affinity for the malefic bodies to affect destructive magics, this attunement represents the fundamental principle of astromancy. Celestial opposition. Considered to be the very essence of astromancy, this technique binds the astrologian's ether to the loftiest of heavens. A single tug on his celestial cord alters the patterns of fate, showering allies with fortune and afflicting foes with sudden adversity. So these abilities primarily reference the ability of the astrologian to manipulate fate. They speak to essentially weaponizing the inherent properties of the celestial domains, binding themselves and allies to that which bring fortune, and inflicting those that bring woe upon their foes. What is not at all documented, however, at least not that I could turn up, is any information on the actual fate and future reading practices with regard to the heavens, though this is alluded to many times during the course of the quest line.
Like so much.
Yeah. Though that is all we have on that is what these people reference, and sometimes is made as a joke, so who knows what the fuck is the actual like fortune telling. And frankly, I feel like some of the time it's retroactively justifying their preconceptions versus actually like star casting.
No shit.
But anyway, so we don't have much on the actual star reading, star prediction function of astromancy, period. For those cards, though, we have some information, which I will leave to the end, since we'll be primed about the major arcana during the quest line, so it's better to discuss it once we're suitably informed. And maybe I can make up for some of our upcoming negativity by closing out with some fun trivia. All right, Jen, with all that aside, do you wish to know more of fate?
No, you motherfucker, that's my line.
It is tradition that I ask you the job line, Jen, every time. We're not breaking it now. What are we? Some children playing with their deck of 60?
Oh my god. Fine, I guess, yes.
Thanks, Jen. Please take us to the job quest.
Meet Jeanne Kennard, astrologian for the Holy See, and someone who clearly loves the sound of his own voice. In his readings, it was revealed a woman, or man, would reveal herself to him today, a protege, who would help elevate him into the annals of history. Astrology in Ishgard is nothing new. However, 3 centuries prior, some guy discovered that by studying the movement of the stars, the movement of the Dravanian horde could be discerned as well. Then the field of study blew up. And within Eorzea, there are 2 schools of astrology. There's the Charlean and the Ishgardian. The former is more akin to astromancy, as Levi was saying, where ether is channeled from the stars and turned into useful magic, whereas the Ishgardian school is seeing where the dragons are going. Jeanne Kennard de Durandere, of the Durandares, has been studying astrology for many years, having previously studied at Charlean, the colony, not the OG. As a new student, he was forced into busy work for the first 6 months, which he resented then, and apparently still does. Which he resented then, and apparently still does. While the busy work of transcribing and memorizing basic concepts beautifully prepared him for the real fun stuff like readings and spellcasting, he has better ideas for our early tutelage. But why though? I think stick to fundamentals like that in the beginning makes a ton of sense. It clearly paid off, well, it clearly paid off for him. But the issue is the preparation was correct. But, what do Charlian scholars know? Anyway, so what he would have us do would be asking around the Athenaeum if anyone knows what is causing the late arrival of his old mentor from Old Charlian. Sir J is very excited. His mentor is traveling all the way from the old world to Ishgard to present the benefits of Charlian astrology before the Holy See, something he believes will be much more of a boon than the current Ishgardian style. We engage in the progressive teaching exercise of asking other students if they know where the professor is. It seems the kids around the Athenaeum have little respect for Jenna Kennard and the Charlian school, calling students of the latter unbelievers. One of the guys we ask pities us that once again some poor maiden has fallen victim to Sir J's spiel on fate and how our paths were destined to cross, etc., etc. No shade though, because you're just stupid and you don't realize, he tells me. He also refers to Jenna Kennard as a sorry excuse for an astrologian, but don't tell him I said that. One student in particular, a woman hoarding all the vowels, fleurie, literally every vowel, has an actual lead for us. Well, eventually. She unleashes a tirade about the Viscount, that's Sir J, and how his astromancy skills have not improved in the 15 years since his time at Charlian, nor is it surprising that he has put forth zero effort to figure out where his professor is himself, instead having yet another of his little proteges handle the dirty work.
Jin, we've just wandered in here hoping to learn more about being an astrologian because it sounds cool, and we end up with the one weirdo in the building.
Yep.
And now we're stuck together.
Well, he camps out at the front desk.
Yep. He's going to snipe all the newbies.
And correct, but it probably keeps him out of trouble. Everybody else can go on with real astrology. In any case, as she was eating in the mess hall at the observatorium, she overheard the chief astrologian Forlamort having a discussion with someone about Charlian, and he was visibly upset. What are the odds that we have a missing Charlian professor and his retinue at the same time the chief anti-Charlian guy is overheard getting pissy about them? Curious. Jenna Kennard isn't happy with this turn of events, or rather to hear that Master Forlamort is the person we need to speak to. We head to the observatorium separately to avoid the image of impropriety to make our inquiries with the chief. Forlamort comes out swinging. How dare Jenna Kennard drag an outsider into this holy place? He's always been obsessed with the foreign ever since returning from that heathen city, etc. Jenna Kennard interrupts, saying that the stars can serve a greater purpose beyond just scrying the movement of the horde. Their ether can be tapped, and that power used in Ishgard's defense. Forlamort points his bony finger at Jay and says that the ether should be left the fuck alone. Remember the fate of other societies who meddled with ether? The Nimians, the Emdapori, the Vaki? Touché.
Touché, except the Ishgardians are all up in that ether too. They got conjurers, they got thaumaturges. They are not ether-free.
Ether-free. Well, apparently Forlamort wants a absolutely fundamentalist, purist, astrologian experience in Ishgard.
Yes.
So, good luck with that. Anyway, Jenna Kennard argues with his uncle, name drop, that the Charlians have used their techniques for centuries without etheric disruption. Not only that, but the Vault has approved his continuing research. And if they combined the techniques of the two schools, it could turn the tide of the Drakensong War. But he's not there to argue, he says. Really? And asks if Forlemort has heard anything about where his mentor, Professor Mace, might be. Forlemort does. Like, really, really does. He gives us a very detailed itinerary of the group's travels. Where they started, where they detoured, why they detoured, they ended up here, and then they went there, and then, like, how do you know all of this about somebody you shouldn't give a fuck about? They are apparently lost in the Black Shroud. An Astrologian! Lost! Ha! Jenna turns to us and asks that we intercept them.
Maybe it's daytime.
Hilarious.
I can tell.
No, that's funny. His manservant, Kimperan, will accompany us and be a bodyguard of sorts. We meet Kimperan at Quarry Mill. A local cited a group of quote-unquote queerly dressed outsiders passed through about an hour ago. Easy enough. But before we head out, Kimperan wants to give us a little more background info. While he serves the Viscount, he's actually in the employ of the Count, Lord Forlemort. Jeanne Canard's obsession with Charlian astrology and seeking a protege concern Kimperan for his master's reputation and possibly his life. Sir Jay has more than a few enemies in the Astrologian community, no thanks to his uncle, and he begs us to distance ourselves from him so he can dabble quietly on his own. Now, under the search. We head out the southern gate of Quarry Mill and into Snake Molt, where we immediately encounter our professor, surrounded by bandits. A young woman is accompanying the older man. This apparently is his granddaughter. As the professor cowers in the midst of the bandits, a burst of light pulses from within his tightly closed fist. Within it is the soul of the Astrologian, and his eyes glance up at us. The soul has spoken. And fearing the thieves will remove all manner of valuables from him, he surreptitiously tosses the soul into some grass nearby. With that, the bandits grab the professor and lead him off into the shroud, leaving his granddaughter and their guard behind.
Jen, for someone who criticizes me for skipping over many things, you're skipping some like major back and forth between the bandits and between the party.
It's like, so the bandit leader is a lady. She's very distinctive looking, but it just was like smarmy, villainous threats, you know?
I took note of this because this is one of the many confounding events that happen in this quest line. First off, I just want to say for the counter, Jen, this is when the first pleasure barge reference comes. The bandit leader's like, ooh, that girl's looking pretty good. She'll fetch a high price for the pleasure barges. Start the tracker, Jen. 1 pleasure barge.
Yep. Pleasure barge counter. Ding!
But also, she's being all, yeah, that's a pretty sweet-looking girl. You all bring me that girl that is presumably at our mercy to an unspecified place at an unspecified time later, or the old man gets it. Not like we're just going to take her too.
I was just like dumbfounded. I'm like, this whole thing is dumb.
It is dumb. I agree, but
yeah, it gets dumber. So maybe yes. I was like, because these notes were not my first playthrough. Uh-huh. This is the first time I've done Astrologian period, just to be clear. But during the leveling process, I was doing the quests, and then I went back through New Game Plus to take the notes.
Yes.
And so I think I probably skipped over that because I was just so tired of the like, we're evil and terrible. We have no scruples or morals.
That's fair.
And then knowing what was coming soon, I'm like, I'm gonna.
To me, there is a departure from reality that happens in this quest line, and not in a fun way like in Hildebrand. This woman apparently has the bandit leader has us at our mercy because she has our hostage, and typically our character goes along when there's our hostage.
We need to start shooting on hostages.
There you go. That's the solution.
Yes.
Again, the bandit leader's like, bring us that hot girl later on.
Okay, we'll see you later. Let's see. Okay. The granddaughter sees the soul crystal shining in the grass, and she wonders, why would he leave this here? This is the one thing that could ensure his escape. Unless, as a little background, before their travels, her grandfather scried in the cards that he would act as the bridge for countless souls to be passed to another. Could we be that other? Spoiler, yes. Kemperan interjects, saying the bandits are sloppy and he can easily track them.
Yes, of course. Black Shroud bandits notoriously sloppy.
Right.
For this Ishgardian fop to get the better of them.
Absolutely.
But as it will turn out, he will unfortunately be proven correct because these bandits are likely actually not local bandits. So
Spoilers.
We will reinforce his preconception, sadly.
Yeah. The woman holds up her hand. No, she says. The stars have laid out a path not before you, but before this adventurer. Hold the soul to our heart, she says. Listen to the tales of those who walked before you, and know their journeys as you do your own. And she, Lady Leviva, will be responsible for teaching us the tools and techniques of Charlian astromancy. Worry not about grandfather, she continues. Did we see the lack of fear in his eyes? All of this was foretold by the stars. The professor saw his rescue at our hands. Our presence here is no accident. It is fate. I hate this. I was ranting to myself out loud doing this. I'm like, why do I hate this? And so I had to talk myself through why. I think a lot of it has to do with my Catholic upbringing. But this is fucking magical thinking. It's making excuses and also like fitting square pegs into round holes because it's convenient. You want to take what you hear and turn it into something that you want it to be. Like relinquishing all responsibility for behavior, for happenings, how balls of gas unfathomable distances away are somehow responsible for how things are. And it reeks of arrogance. Like, all of this was foretold. I saw it in the stars. Like, saw fucking what? Aren't the stars like static? Yeah, the globe rotate. Yeah, so I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm like, girl, there's...
Well, Jen, to your point there, whether or not you believe, there are extensive real-world practices around star reading, too. So it's not that the stars are, quote, static, therefore nothing changes. There are methods
legitimate
devised.
Like navigation.
I'm saying that there are methods devised IRL to read the stars for what is essentially fortune telling.
Yeah.
Whether or not you believe them, it's not just stars stay still, therefore nothing. There is a school of thought that does track this way of thinking. Everything else you said, spot on, but I guess I disagree with the fact that you can't read shit in the stars because there's a whole pseudoscience about star reading.
What are you gleaning when you read the stars? What are you doing with that information?
Me personally.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm just saying, before we get any actuallys, Jen, that there are people who do believe that you can read things in the stars IRL, and they have a methodology behind that.
No. Well, as far as like bodies moving within the heavens, they do change because we're changing. And so just a caveat, and we had this discussion years ago where you're like, Jen, where are you on like the spirituality spectrum? And I'm like, I am at the very bottom. I am off the spectrum. There is no spirituality
Jen,
within me
off the spectrum
at all. Yeah. And that's a personal thing. Yeah. Totally.
In a magical world especially, we don't know whether or not Charlian like star reading is actually true. We can see in terms of game mechanics.
Oh, 100%. No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, everything that I'm saying about like, it's not real, that's for our real world. Yeah. Not for Eorzea. Obviously, Eorzea and Heidelin, they're very special. So I don't discount that. I just hate reading it.
I see.
I don't like reading the words.
Fair.
All was foretold. Like, knock it off. But shit happens where they walk it back, you know? It's very flex. It's like they're applying it how they fucking want to in the moment.
That is my takeaway too, is that nothing that happens in this stage of the quest line is actually like star reading. It is people who have vague glimmerings at some point who then say, oh, this thing fit what I saw at 100%. Some point, therefore it was always correct.
Yeah, it's like the seers and the mediums in like peak snake oil era who would say things in like vague generalities, but people would accept them as specific to their lives. It's like, it's a scam scam and a grift, but it fucking works.
So it's funny, though, because I think that in the way it's portrayed to us to date, Jen, the Ishgardian school is far more solid because they foresaw fucking Midgarstormer. Better get on that, and blam, he's back.
Yes, so that obviously works, which is probably why Forlamort and his ilk are so entrenched.
So here's my grand unified theory of astromancy. Use the Dragon Star for future shit. Use the ether channeling shit for magic shit. Done.
Okay, Jenna Kennard, that sounds like a great idea. But seriously, that's what he's advocating for, and that makes all the sense in the world.
I don't think so. We're kind of skipping ahead here, but I guess we're on the topic. I think that Jean Kennard has shot himself in the foot by trying to compete with the everything about the current Ishgardian school. I think he wants to kitchen sink shove Charlayan thought into Ishgard. He's not like, here's what's useful, here's what's practical. Think about a tree and then make someone get healed more.
He can't even, to be fair to him,
take less damage.
He's not good at stuff.
No, he's not good at stuff, including selling his thoughts.
100%. So there's two things. One, he's very bad at articulating exactly what could be useful from the Charlayan school, blah, 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 blah. Three things, actually. The second being that Ishgard is very, very, very insular and superstitious.
Yeah.
And three, he can't even get to the point where he could potentially articulate some of this. He's getting stonewalled
I think
at every turn.
That his being stonewalled is due to his kitchen sink shoving it into everyone's face.
So yeah, it's a big
approach.
Circle,
Yeah.
It's like a cycle.
Yes.
Cycle of life.
Cycle of bullshit.
All right, anyway, back to the stuff. So, Leviva gives us a crash course in Astrologian 101. How to use our star globe, what the 6 major arcana do, how the cards don't predict the future, but rather guide us to a desired outcome. It's a lot. And she recognizes the trauma dump, but her grandfather's life hangs in the balance, and she will not put his fate in the hands of someone who can't discern the front of a major arcana from its back. Rude, also maybe handle that shit yourself, since I literally became an astrologian 12 seconds ago. So our bodyguard buds, including Kemperan, will handle the rough stuff. I, however, will draw the cards and read them correctly to ensure her grandfather's survival. She allows us a bit of time to get acquainted with our new skills before we rush headlong into a fight. I mean, we can still hear the fading footsteps of a group of bandits kidnapping her grandfather, but give me like 10 minutes to dick around with the buttons.
It's okay. They're in no hurry. They're going to wait around until we come find them.
The stars are fertile! So we now embark on a Hansel and Gretel Tarot edition. We trail the bandits through Snakemolt. One by one, we find the 6 major arcana left behind by the professor. There's one road through Snakemolt. Where are we going to go? There's a dungeon, I suppose, but...
the game world is obviously far smaller as portrayed. But
I'm just
yes.
like, now I'm going after everything.
Yeah, I know.
Leveva, I keep switching between Leviva and Leveva.
I like Leviva more.
Leviva! She doesn't do anything that I can see.
Hey, Jen, what does Leviva look like, also, for the record? She has a distinct look.
She is a Huron Midlander female. She has lavender pigtails, lavender eyes. Her dress is gorgeous. It's this black gown with the little flippy-uppy slippers, pointy-toe slippers. And she has earrings that have, like, a jewel for each of the 7 heavens in them. Anyway, okay, so that's her.
What does her grandpa Mace look like? He
is an older Huron Midlander male with...
The correct answer is a raisin.
Oh, yeah, he didn't wear sunscreen when he should have as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, as a middle adult. And he has a huge pointy hat on. Very distinctive. Again, queerly dressed. Leviva doesn't do anything that I can see. She kind of like observes us to make sure we don't fuck up.
Yeah, we are the foretold one. We got it.
Oh, okay. The bandit leader has the ability to summon void scent and other such nuisances. She's not your run-of-the-mill bandit. And so, by the way, the 6 major arcana, as we find them, are the spear, the bowl, the ewer, the balance, the arrow, and the spire. The bandit leader is frustrated that there are 2 astrologians despite her benefactor indicating there would be only one. And
Also,
she bails.
Because it's noteworthy, people love a dusk white. The bandit leader is a distinctly like blue-skinned dusk white.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yep.
With a long white chunk of hair in the front. It sounds so pretty, a nice chunk of hair. Confirming the professor is unharmed, we move on to a few issues. First, being that Jeanne Canard, the freaking guy who pestered this man into traveling halfway across the entire world, is absent. Secondly, Professor Mace saw all of this unfolding over a moon ago, as it was written in the stars. Still hate it. Their hired shroud guide completely missing the bandit presence, his kidnapping, our showing up and rescuing him, blah, blah, blah. He saw it all. The professor directs our gaze to the skies above. There in the mid-heaven are 6 pale yellow stars signifying the bowl, the trunk of the world tree. The bowl represents a solid foundation, grants strength to the weak, allowing them to stand firm in the face of adversity. This is the gate to the first heaven, and it's no coincidence that it should be visible at this specific place and time, marking the birth of a new Astrologian. That's us. Again, if you're really looking for meaning, you can mold any happenstance to fit an expectation. Okay. All that said,
it is a portentous sign.
The professor is old, he's tired, and he's ready to give Jeanne Canard a thorough tongue lashing, the bad kind. That the guy he lost hair tutoring for years couldn't show up to meet him after summoning him from across the world, instead sending an adventurer, derogatory, only proves Jeanne Canard always takes the easy route. No wonder he's yet to open even the second Heaven's Gate. And we've since returned to Ishgard now, and this is the tongue-lashing moment. Sir Jay kind of stutters a bit. He's like, what the heck, man? And he's got some excuse about why he hasn't, opened any of the gates. And then he's like, wait. How do you know I haven't opened any of the gates? And Lviva jumps in, and she's like, because my grandfather is the greatest astrologian in all Charlian. There is not he doesn't know unless he doesn't wish to know it. Hate this. She then reveals she had planned to remain here to continue his training, but now is questioning the decision. The professor then laughs with astrological smugness. My dear Lviva, you still do not see it, do you? Without Jeanne Canard stumbling into my tutelage nearly 2 decades past, he never would have taken this adventurer under his wing and sent her to us in his stead. It was all as the stars had planned. Ah! Crawling out of my skin. Sir Jay then notices the soul crystal in our possession and cries foul. This adventurer has stolen your soul!
Crystal.
Despite his ineptitude and laziness, the professor understands that Jay is still trying to spread the gospel of the Charlian school in Ishgard and has agreed to leave Lviva here to further his and our training. This kind of sounds like work and possibly an insult to his self-perceived intelligence, so he's not ready to agree to this arrangement right away. Lviva puts him in his place. You're either training with me or you're languishing in obscurity. And then she gives us some time to study the basics while she scouts for locations around Eorzea to view and unlock the remaining gates, taking Kimperan with her.
Jen, I think you glossed over it, but there's a bit where she essentially steals Kimperan.
She says, when she announces that she's going to go scout locations,
yeah.
Jeanne Canard is like, that's so dangerous. You just got caught by bandits. You want to go out there alone? She's like, no, of course not, you idiot. You're going to loan me Kimperan. And he was like, oh. I mean, yes, of course I will.
Yep.
So, she's forming her own future here.
After some level ups, we return, and Jeanne Canard hits the nail on the head immediately. The stars tell me that you have been rigorously following Lviva's training regimen, though I harbor doubts that go out and do things while I traipse about the realm constitutes a regimen.
That's funny, dude. Remember what you had us do when we first joined up?
That was for a purpose, though, Jen. We had
okay.
a mission.
But it's kind of, this is like a self-aware moment in the game.
Yes.
Which I thought was funny.
Same. But now Lviva is ready for us to open the second gate. And this is pretty much the job quest between now and 50. We have to unlock 6 of these 7 heavens, or at least the celestial bodies that represent them, so that we may draw upon their ether, even though we can already.
Yep.
The 6 gates correspond to the 6 elements, of course, and we're going to learn a lot more about these as well, about the gates during the job quest, and about the heavens much, much later. But for now, Jana Kennard explains that there is no actual gate. We are opening our mind, allowing for attunement with these distant bodies, much like one attunes with an aetheryte, but on a far grander scale. And for any flat Heideliners out there, Jana Kennard says this may come as a revelation, but Heidelin is not flat like most believe. It is, in fact, a sphere so large that when we walk upon it, it only appears to be flat.
Which?
Because it is a sphere, there are some locations better suited than others for observing certain constellations. And this is what Lviva is doing right now. And it seems that she has found one near the final prayer in Eastern Thanalan, which is by the burning wall. That
God,
big
he loves
orange
to just
say
listen
words
to himself.
Yes.
My God.
We gather up there, finding Lviva and Kimperon standing amidst a pile of bandit corpses. Her quote, "Bandits have kept poor Kimperon busy, harrying our camp since we arrived. I do believe the old man enjoys the excitement, however."
The old man. Okay, old man count. Ding.
"I'm certain it beats wiping the arse of a noble brat whoring away his uncle's fortune." Jana Kennard retorts, "I am very well capable of wiping my own arse, thank you very much, and Kimperon has never once complained of his duties."
About wiping my arse. Oh.
Lviva says, "Of course he hasn't. Your uncle pays him to smile and nod, and I'm sure a comfortable position in the pillars beats chasing after cloud rats in the broom to flavor his soup."
Good Lord.
"Are we here to trade banter?" Jana Kennard responds, "because I was led to believe we be unlocking a celestial gate."
Yeah, she just annihilated this guy.
"You will find Kimperon has many good uses, and I haven't the faintest doubt he'll be most able to handle any ruffians who happen to come stumbling about looking for prey. All right, Jin, next time on the Gilmore Girls."
Oh my God.
No, I included this dialogue in its entirety because many of the people who I found who liked the job quest liked the inter-character dynamic as one of the highlights for them.
I can see that, for sure. Though Lviva exhausts me. She's
Fair.
so...
Well, Lviva is either...
She is just like... She's just sharp. She's pointy.
She is either smug or sassy.
Condescending.
Those are our two modes.
Yeah, and that's exhausting for me. Just can you like there's no vulnerability there, which wears on a person.
Speaking of the bandits, Jen, this through line is surreal. A central plot point to this is all of these bandit attacks. Bandits when they arrive, bandits now, just slaying bandits left and right.
Bandits in the morning, bandits in the evening.
The level of slaughter is almost cartoonish, but so is the character's reaction to them. It's treated like almost the weather.
Right. We got a bit of the bandits again.
A lot of bandits we're having, aren't we?
It's raining cats and bandits.
How about the score in the last front lines? That Maelstrom sure better turn it around or they'll be down in the finals. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a bandit on the play.
Yeah. Bandit on the pitch. There's this weird duality in which the characters pay lip service to some sort of conspiracy happening behind all these attacks, but are utterly unconcerned and uncurious about it.
Nope. Yep. We're just going to keep on.
Until a very frustrating puppet master moment at the very end, but that's for later. For now, though, we camp out until nightfall. Eventually, the stars come out, and Lviva points out the constellation representing the balance. Representing the heaven of fire, a realm made prosperous by the blessing of the traders, Naldthal. But at the same time, one whose equilibrium is maintained by the divine judgment of Azema, the warden. And much like real-world constellations, there's a loose collection of stars that takes a bit of imagination to imagine into, to personify into an actual shape.
I love the artwork here.
Yeah, we get a superimposed art that fades in over the star constellation, showing us what we're imagining here when we see the star
It's great.
configuration.
And these these constellations exist in the sky all the time, not just during these quests, right?
I'm sure.
I feel like they are.
You'd have to, well, we get like a close-up zoom in, so I don't know, honestly. I would hope so, but that is a good question.
I didn't assume so, but I feel like I've noticed occasionally when I look at the night sky in the game that there are larger stars of specific colors that kind of jump out at me.
Well, Jen, let's look it up before part 2. We'll do some in-game sightseeing and see if we can identify the constellations before part 2, Astrologian.
Okay.
How about that? So this is what opens the gate. All it takes is looking at some stars. Laviva tells us to focus on the constellation and attune to its power, as does Janakanard, and we unlock it. This has the trappings of a momentous event, but we did literally nothing besides show up here, and Janakanard underlines this. One gate in my first 17 years, and now look at me. Perhaps my previous methods of training were not the most efficient. So to me, this underlines that all we have to do is be at the right place at the right time to, quote, unlock the gate.
Yep.
And since the punchline laggard character also gets his gate at the same time, it underscores that there's no challenge to doing this. It's just like, yep, there's some stars.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Even the professor was like, bro, you're such a lazy asshole. You haven't even opened all the gates.
He's like literally not left town pretty much.
I mean, I get if that's all it takes, then yep.
But this is going to be the driving motivation for us to do anything up to level 50. Laviva finds us a good sightseeing point, we show up, some hijinks ensue, and then we unlock our gate. And all the while we're being praised as an astromancy prodigy despite doing nothing of note about actual astromancy.
Wow.
We literally just like walk up and then she does the work for us. And also nothing actually happens from opening the gates. It's just like, good job, you done it. No new ability, no nothing, just like boop stars.
The screen goes black.
This is such a pointless process here.
We don't even get like sparkles washing over our body.
We do not.
Imbuing us with the attunement.
It comes down to essentially like a sightseeing log questline. It's just like, boop, got that sightseeing point done, moving on to the next one. There's nothing else of value that comes of this act, even though the game's like, oh wow, the 6th gate, now you're fully ascended as an astromancer.
So I guess the one bit of skill that one would employ when you don't have a Laviva following you around is to read the star charts, figure out where the constellation is going to be at the midheaven, and go there at the exact right evening.
You are correct, and if that was like a mechanic, it'd be super cool.
It just, Laviva does it for us, so we don't have to think about it.
But to underscore my point, though, Jen, it's immediately time for a second gate, or a third gate, actually.
Whoa.
We zoop on over to Little Alamigo, and Quiperon extols about sand for a short while. I love sand. It gets in everywhere.
It's coarse.
No, it's soft and silky.
Yeah. It turns me on.
The sand can be a wonderful thing if you know its benefits. For example, it can be used to polish your mail or cover your body at night to stave off the desert cold.
Okay.
And then we just sit around and wait for nighttime. And we raise our eyes to the stars and witness the violet glow of the spire. In the third heaven rises an iron tower of spinning gears and taut springs constructed by the builder himself. It is assailed without cease by the jealous Ralgar, but the destroyer's mighty 11 bolts only serve to power the spire's clockwork soul. It is through the blessings of both creation and destruction that strength is granted to he who sees his stars rise under this sign. Using the arcana to draw upon the powers of the stars they represent, this path we walk as astrologians is called the Royal Road. It can be treacherous and fraught with peril, but it can lead men to greatness. This constellation, Jen, was funny to me. The art of the spire and the constellation themselves are like opposite. The constellation has a single star as the base of the tower of the spire and tons of points for like the pinnacles.
Yeah.
But the art fades in. It has like a fat ass fucking spire up here with like a huge fucking base.
Yep.
All grounded by this tiny little star at the very base of the constellation. Anyway, at this point now, Laviva insults Eorzea for a bit. Your realm is quite the paradox. On one hand, it is full of life, magic, and wonder. One of the richest lands in all of Hydaelyn. On the other, it is literally brimming over with strife. Take little Alamigo, the wretched souls displaced from their homes by the flames of war.
Damn.
Or Ishgard, mired in its own pointless conflict with an enemy so old it does not even remember why it fights. Well, actually, they do remember. That's like a whole plot point.
I was like, girl, your ignorance is showing.
Yep. The foolish believe it is their fate to suffer, and so they turn their gaze away from the stars, when those self-same stars have the power to show people where there are many paths. It is our duty to use the power to benefit those who remain lost and misguided. Remember that, and maybe one day you will truly become my grandfather's successor. And Jeanna Kennard explains, this is why I'm trying to bring Charlene astrology to Ishgard. But the fools just won't see wisdom.
The fools,
says Lviva. That is because empowering those without power lessens the power of those who already have power.
It dilutes the power.
Even our great nation of learning, Charlene, is corrupted by this manner of thought. We hoard our knowledge so that we might remain the brightest. This is why Charlene's ruling quarter has blocked this visit for so long, so that Professor Mace couldn't share his knowledge with Ishgard. They only just allowed it because they believed he was too weak and old to be met with success. But they didn't know that young, sprightly Lviva would be going along too.
Oh.
We part ways with Lviva praising us for having already opened half the gates on the, quote, Royal Road. And we sure did do that. If we want to know more about the Royal Road, buy the rights.
Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.
Actually,
buy the rights. Buy the rights. Da-da-da.
She says, ask Jeanna Kennard. We do, and seem to recall it had something to do with reassessing the attribution of an arcanum before reading it, which would result in a slight alteration of predestination, or perhaps it was something to do with the kings and queens on the minor arcana. It was over a decade ago. I'm sure it's not important.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Jeanna Kennard.
Yep.
There's a brief tale to the level 35 quest. Time passes, and Jeanna Kennard tells us that Lady Lviva wants to see us. She's been attacked by bandits again, but that's not important. What is that she wants to see us on the upper floor of the Astrologicum, as Jeanna Kennard insisted that she camp out here when he found the Forgotten Night to be too dismal for one of her station. We head up and go, hey, how about that bandit attack? And she gets mad that we ask about it. This was supposed to be a secret.
She's mad at Jeanna Kennard for letting the cat out of the bag, yeah.
But still, she's mad, and this tells me that she is puppet mastering this whole thing from the start. Because her plot, she's trying to keep it secret. I don't know why. Us knowing does not affect her scheme, which is one-dimensional either way, but still. She's like, I don't want anyone to know about these bandit attacks, or maybe I don't want them to know that I know about the bandit attacks. I don't fucking know. It's very strange, but she is really, I think, doing a long game here with a very shallow sting at the end. This tells me that she's planning her switcheroo at the very beginning. Jin's giving me a peery look.
What do you mean by switcheroo?
At the end, she's like, you think you got me, but I got you.
Okay.
It's literally what she does. Not in those words exactly, obviously, but she does say pretty much that. All right, mark this point. We'll see in like half an hour.
Oh my God.
That's what happens. After her getting mad at Jeanna Kennard for spilling the beans, she then is going to give us a secret. She's going to give us the redraw ability, which doesn't exist anymore. So we get some flavor text about deferring one's fate to a later date, and then we get an unrelated ability, which I think is the AoE regen ability.
The gate to the fourth heaven awaits, and we will travel separately. Lviva and Kimperan. I am shipping these two so hard. And I and Jeanna Kennard.
I cannot see that happening whatsoever. Just no.
I don't know. Shipping
She's
them.
Also very young, Jin. Like younger than her model suggests.
Apparently, Kimperan is an old man that is reinforced a few times along this quest chain, which boggles my mind. We are heading to Limsa Lominsa. I'm telling Jeanna Kennard this is where we're going. Alas, he can't accompany us on this lesson because there's a big to-do at the vault and all the high houses will be there. And if he's absent, it'll be a whole thing. So he can open the third gate later. Or the fourth gate. Whatever. The stars aren't going anywhere. See you later. When we land in Limsa, Quimperan tells us that Lviva has gone missing. they were separated in the chaos at the landing, and we split up to go look for her. I go to Fisherman's Bottom to check first, and my girl Vakebi is hanging out there, and she's having one heck of a time. 2 Astrologians in one day.
From the Rogues Guild quest?
Yeah, the girl with the sandwich.
Yeah, sandwich girl.
The invisible sandwich. The other lass went off somewhere, but she's at risk of getting trafficked onto a pleasure barge. Pleasure barge, ding, 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 ding. Number 2. Next, we head to the Marauders Guild. Rainer there.
Jen, you missed a pleasure barge citation.
Oh.
Yes, I'm sorry, Jen, but we got to keep accurate track here. When we are dispatched here by Jean Canard, he says,
"Oh, as much as I would like to go and flit around on pleasure barges, I must go to this thing at the vault."
Yes, that's 3 barges so far.
Third pleasure barge, yep. I don't think we've ever seen such a thing.
The writer of this quest, I don't know, they take some liberties with the game world fiction, and it makes me feel like they were a bit disconnected from the established world when writing this quest.
Right. Like, we know people are trafficked.
Yeah.
But getting these repeated allusions to that is a little out of character.
But also, the way they talk about Limsa, it's very different than what we've lived so far.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I feel like the writer just was not fully briefed or fully briefed for, like, you know,
they were told that it's a pirate city. It's like, oh shit, there's going to be murdering and kidnapping and pleasure barging.
Yep, left and right.
Yar. Rainer at the Marauders Guild spoke with our Lviva for a bit about Serpent Reavers, Sahagin, the Garleans, but she cut the conversation short, and she was acting like she was being pursued. And we head downstairs, and we speak to Brunbar, and he confirms the woman was down there too, asking where she could get a nip of the strong stuff, and he directed her to the 7th stage. Lviva going around and asking, like, yo, where can I get a nip of the strong stuff is weird to me. That doesn't sound like her at all. It's very confusing. So, Kimperan, he's waiting for us outside the 7th stage with some good news. Lviva had entered into an agreement with Carvalane to buy some of his stuff, and is scheduled to meet him back here in a couple hours. Carvalane was struck by the general oddity of the exchange, one being someone looking like her seeking to purchase quote-unquote spice, as he calls it, and secondly, her troubled demeanor. Clearly, she knows she's being followed, and Kimperan surmises that she'd likely seek out a well-populated area to avoid any attempted attacks or kidnapping. Carvalane has some unfortunate news about Limsan activities for him, though. Kidnappings and killings happen in broad daylight all the time, and when they happen in front of a bunch of people, they just keep their heads down so they don't also get kidnapped or murdered. Well, that's enough for Kimperan to decide to continue searching the city. If Lviva fails to show up for her appointment at the 7th stage, we are to head to the Drowning Wench. And here is where we get a big fat instance. So,
like that spire, am I right?
Yeah, that fat bottom spire.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Lviva still hasn't shown up after waiting 4 hours. The sun has set, and our worries are through the roof. Carvalane has little hope we'll find her at all, and if we do, it's unlikely she's alive. So this is the part where we're like, this is a disconnect from our Limsan experience. Like, sure, it's piratey, but it's not this level of... It's not
a clean city, let's be clear, but it's not like every day you're walking out and getting kidnapped.
Straight up. Yeah, not at all. So I was like, okay. But if she does return to the 7th stage, he'll make sure that she stays safe. Stays safe. I can see what Roswin sees in Carvalane. He seems like a really nice guy. So now it's our turn to run through the streets of Limsa in a panic. We ask a woman out and about if she's seen anyone matching Lviva's description. And she asks why we're worried about some hypothetical woman when there's a live woman standing right in front of you. Me not that kind of orc. Another fellow further down the platform says he thinks he saw a woman in black heading to the High Line. Indeed, when we head that direction, Lviva is on the ground, looking disheveled. Trickery! The woman on the ground is not Lviva, but a ringer, with her own star globe even, and able to wield Astrologian magics. but dedication to the ruse. And in the midst of the fight, Kimperan finds us and helps out, taking her down. This whole ordeal has taken an ominous turn, and the two of us run around to find the real Lviva. Soon, we find her prone on the ground. But, Ifrit's fiery piss! It's another doppelganger! We fight them and continue searching. Now, we see two Lvivas facing off with one another. Oh gosh, Kimperan can't figure out which one is the real one. I'm Lady Lvivi, says the one on the right. Kimperan, do you really need to ask? Says the one on the left.
This can be hard if you miss the dialogue.
Yes.
They do not repeat it. I saw the dialogue pop up initially, but it was too far away, I think, or something. I don't know. I couldn't read it in time. So I just guessed which one and got it right. But they do not say the words again. If you miss the first speech, you're screwed.
When I did this the first time, I wasn't paying attention to the speech bubbles because I don't typically.
Yeah.
And I picked the one on the right. It changes nothing. I think maybe Lviva is you dumbass or something.
Sure. That is on brand for her.
Yeah. And I just and also at this moment for Lviva to just be Kimperan, oh my God, are you serious? Read the room, girl. You don't have to be a dick all the time. Okay. Well, we fight the imposter and Lviva fills us in on her day, which was really weird. When she got off the airship and the two of them were separated, she realized she was being followed and made a point to talk to a bunch of people in crowded areas, making friends with Raynor, Brunbar, and Vikebi, among others. So when she found out some of these guys were dressing up like her, she decided to pretend to be a pretender.
I hate this,
to blend in.
This is
I literally have. I hate this.
Is this something that a bunch of tabletop RPG players would do?
100%. This does not in real life calculate because the doppelganginess is spot on. This is illusion magics. This is not a bunch of people just dressed up in clothes.
Also, why? Why is the underlying question?
Why?
All right. How are we going to catch this person? Well, let's dress up like her and spread out.
No, this is something Lviva should have done to fool the bandits into kidnapping an imposter.
Dressing like a normal person?
Or she could, I swear to God, just take the dress off, girl. You stick out like a sore thumb. But the dressing up as Lviva thing makes no sense. Lviva pretending to be a person dressing up like her also makes no sense. Like I said, the day was weird.
No, this fucking quest line is weird. Nobody acts like a human in this fucking quest line.
Thank you. Yes. I just feel gross. Anyway, we still have no idea who these people are, who they're working for, what their motivation is. But never mind all that. Lviva says it's time to continue the lesson and open the fourth gate from the anchor yard. But there, barring our way, is a group of pirates. Pirates now! Christ! The pirate leader being the same woman who acted as the bandit leader from the Black Shroud. We fight these guys, and after pummeling the entire group, the pirate lady runs off, saying she wasn't paid enough to risk her own life. We give chase, and we find ourselves in the middle of another pack of pirates. And things are getting pretty hairy. And the leader lady unleashes her carbuncle on us. And remember when we were in the Black Shroud, we were like, this woman's summoning shit. That's weird. But after a bit, Lviva's friends from around town show up, ready to fight as well. So Brunbar shows up, Vikebi. They're the two extra blades that we needed to turn the tide here. And all of the dudes go down, except for Pirate Lady. Well, she goes down, but she's not dead. And after that, a bit of fun, those two run off to the wench for a pint. And Kimperan approaches Pirate Lady, who's crouched on the ground, hurting, I don't know. And as he leans over her, she unleashes her carbuncle on him, smacking him in the face with its cuteness, and he's knocked on the ground, nearly knocked out. I can't believe that worked, Lviva said. And Pirate Lady looks down at the sprawled out Kimperan. Lay down them weapons, or I'll cut the old man, a new grin under his chin. And this is where I'm they keep making allusions to Kimperan's advanced age. He's
pretty sprightly.
He's 32, shut the fuck up. Kimperan then realizes who the pirate lady is. You're Bandit Lady! Thanks for checking in today, Kipperan. Someone has a good memory for being so on in years. Again! It's like he's a wrinkly old master of at night guy. No! At worst, he's middle-aged. So Pirate Bandit Lady makes a few more threats to kill us all and then, all seems lost until Rainer and a couple yellow jackets run up. Stop right there, he demands. But she does not, in fact, stop right there and runs off. Oh well, lesson time.
I lost the duty at this fight, at the final fight.
I did twice.
Oh, really?
Okay. The first time I did it, yeah, absolutely. I had to do it over again twice.
For the initial fights, I was in full brain turned off mode. Okay, I find the clone,
100%.
mash direct damage, next fight, same deal.
Dot, damage, move on.
And then you find the new group, the first group of pirates, and Kipperan has aggro easy. Yeah. So just dot him up, spam damage.
Whatever.
He's good, no healing required. And I'm so impatient at this point in time. It's been going on forever. I think that we're done. And the leader runs away. So I am on her fucking ass trying to just when she's targetable again in the shit.
Yeah.
I go around the corner into the ambush and everything just focus targets me. And before I realize that I'm supposed to actually play the game at this point in time, I'm dead.
Oh, no.
And then I have to go back to the beginning, of course, from scratch and do all the fucking running around town shit again.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Because of course that's the failure point after you've spent all this time running around, talking to people, doing
shit all.
4 fights?
Yep.
Bummer, dude.
All right, Jen, tell me your story.
Yeah. Well, no, you get overwhelmed because people are then aggroing on you. And I was still very much trying to figure out what the fucking buttons were. Because you can't just, dot Malefic. You have to actually use your shits. So I just got overwhelmed. I couldn't keep up.
I mean, I didn't bother on my other run to actually use the buffs on anyone. I was like, NPC damage is not that good. I'll give myself 3% damage.
Yeah,
it'll be more effective than 6% on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna blast my AOE, and it's like I'll take the damage buff. But I literally just blasted Kipperan with all the things.
Yeah,
and just topped him up.
Yeah, but
none of the other characters I think were really in any kind of trouble.
No, just some heals on him are all he needs to be alive. On the second playthrough, I let him go first. I was like, okay, you go first, tank.
Yeah.
Then I will fall behind him, and it was fine then. He did not take too much damage. He's got plenty of health/armor. So you could do a normal fight there, but just my impatience doomed me the first time.
Lessons learned, yeah.
I guess.
Wow. There was no way to know. There was no way to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was an ambush.
If it were less annoying to repeat, it'd be kind of like, you got me. But
yeah, they do make you do the whole thing.
Yep.
Brutal. The fourth heaven, or the heaven of the wind, was created atop a lofty peak by Oshan, the wanderer, whose footsteps had been guided by the navigator. The wind that blows off Limlayan seas guides the arrow fast and true, and so shall it deliver the weary souls of those trapped in the mire of confusion, indecision, and over-contemplation. Yeah, give me some of that arrow goodness all up in here. Thank you. Now the arrow is open to us. Back at the Athenaeum, Jeanne Kennard shares how Lviva tore him a new one about his absence. It's not as if I was merely sipping cordials and waltzing with baronets. I was helping further our cause. I spoke with several high-ranking cardinals about Lady Lviva being granted the opportunity to speak at the vault regarding Charlian astrology. What do you think of that? I was politely turned down, of course, but it is the gesture that will one day lead to another gesture that will one day lead to a head inclined slightly in the general direction of another gesture. Little steps, my protege, little steps.
We return later, and Jeanne Kennard is on the same warpath here. Forget the gates. We're going to do a more important thing. We're going to spread Charlian astrology throughout Ishgard. And since the vault will not accept his personal request to have Lviva teach astrology there, he's going to have his nuncle do the request for him instead.
Nuncle.
Yes. I know mine uncle loathes me with the passion rarely seen even in young lovers, and there is really no reason why he would aid our cause, being a staunch opponent of change and all. But that does not mean we cannot try. And if we fail, well, we can try again and again. And the next day.
And again. And the next day. And the next day.
Until he is so annoyed that he writes us a recommendation purely to see us out of his thinning hair. Seems like a plan.
Yep, that's great.
How are we involved? Well, we're going to do the annoying because last time Jean Canard visited his uncle, he became so red that he reasons it would be detrimental to his uncle's health if he were to arrive again. And of course we do it because that's who we are. And we head over to the observatorium. Nuncle Forlamont is so annoyed at this request and that it is being routed through Jean Canard's, quote, manservant, that he is going to grant it. Why? Because perhaps the drivel that will surely come forth from Leviva's mouth will spell the end of this whole flight of fancy once and for all, and hopefully take down Jean Canard with it. Finally removing the distraction from proper Dragonstar-oriented astrology. Just see his father try to brush this public shaming under the rug. Ha. So we return to Jean Canard with the good news, and he has so much whining and dining to do that he simply cannot join us for the next gate. So we head for Mor Dona alone to meet with Leviva. Up on that crystal ridge with all the little plasmoids, we find her recovering from yet another bandit attack. Weird? Nope, it's normal. This time, they were targeting an innocent bystander, though. And she and Quimperain nobly intervened. And they learned that the target, this Elizan lady wearing a dorky pointed Astrologian's hat, had come here seeking Leviva because she wants in on this Charlean astrology thing. But, look out. There's another wave of bandits coming.
Oh my god.
We fight them, and this fight has some mechanical weight to it. So we have the bystander in the middle here, and she's like the defense target. All bandits go for her.
Mm-hmm.
Leviva is going to heal the bystander only, and Quimperain's going to fight a bandit pretty much.
Yeah.
At a time. And we have to, of course, do the DPS and some healing, blah, blah, blah. They will take serious damage here. You have to heal. You can't just DPS it up. But after another wave of bandits, the leader shows up and she summons a golem. And this thing hits hard. It goes right for Quimperon, and it was doing so much damage to him that my heals were not out healing its damage. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to focus fire on the bandit leader because the duty is not protect the people, it's defeat the leader.
Yeah.
So the golem chews through Quimperon, like right when I give up on him. I'm like, I'm done healing you. He goes down. And then it goes for Leviva. She goes down.
Oh my god.
And I defeat the bandit leader before it goes for me, and I win. It fades away to nothing.
Great. Yeah, great success.
Yeah. How was your fight, Jen?
It was fine. None of the other fights were as difficult as the big fat instance in Lominsa.
I found this to be more challenging, but I was also more prepared for like mechanics here. I was not lulled into like a sense of security, so
right. Yeah. But, you know, you do have to do both. You gotta balance the DPS and the heals. I had to, use brain, so...
Use brain. So we now check on the Twice victim, and she explains that she is indeed a Charlean astrology fan. But, drat, those bandits destroyed her star chart.
Drat.
Well, Leviva will give hers because, after all, she's memorized it. And those bandits, I'm sorry, but they were probably meant for us, and you just got in the way. Our bad. Leviva fears that certain parties fear the spread of Charlean astrology and will stop at naught to prevent it. And this is the first time, Jen, there's been any speculation by Leviva as to what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah.
She's actually said, oh, hey, these bandits might have a motivation. Level 45.
What? No.
10 attacks later.
My god.
And of course, the implication now is that the Ishgardians are behind the attacks.
Right.
Because they're the ones who are trying to block this.
It's heresy.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's go observe some gates. Night falls and the Ewer comes into view. It is said through the fifth heaven flows a mighty river carrying the water spilled forth from the scholar's vessel. And in that water is the strength of all that have come before and all who will follow. Thu spun from Nimia's loom, Thu from which might and metal is weaved. And done. Gate opened.
Ta-da!
That's it for 45.
Okay.
Take us home, Jen.
Well, now it's time to open the sixth Heaven's Gate. We will start our journey in Camp Dragonhead, and Leviva has sent Quimperan ahead to clear out any nonsense. She assumes Jean Canard has miraculous other plans to keep him from attending this lesson as well, But surprise, surprise, he is going. Lviva tells us that her initial reading of the location for the gate opening was slightly off. Perhaps she should have kept her star charts after all. The actual location is just north in Steel Vigil. And suddenly there's a voice. "You look like the learned type," a man says. He asks Lviva if she's familiar with the star map he's holding, as it was taken from an astrologian who was attacked. And we turn to see 3 temple knights, one of whom has a purple faux hawk and a shit-fuck-ass mustache. Lady Lviva recognizes the charts as hers. "Yes," she says, "I gifted it to a woman the other day. Are they saying that she's been attacked again?" And the admission of ownership prompts the knight to detain Lviva, for the woman said she wrested the chart from one of her attackers. And this accusation shocks us all. Jeanne Canard is aghast. "My lady, why would you attack someone you just risked your life saving?" Lviva agrees to the detainment and questioning, saying all of this is a big mix-up and she'll be in good hands. These are temple knights after all. And right before they walk off with Lviva, the knight bringing up the rear glances at Kimperan, and he recognizes her immediately. That knight was the self-same astrologian whom we saved in Mordona. Jeanne Canard replies with, "Are you saying the astrologian was a temple knight?" Now, Kimperan is fighting desperately to maintain composure with this dummy. "No, I'm saying she's a false astrologian and we've been played. So Lviva won't actually be safe with those temple knights." "Oh my god, they're not knights. Anyway, we need to follow them until they're far enough away from Camp Dragonhead that we can strike without getting arrowed to death instantly by the sentries." The characterization of Jeanne Canard, is he an actual moron or isn't he?
Both. Again, nobody acts like a person in this quest line.
You can't be this
Nobody
dense.
is human here. They're all... I don't know. It's like a parody of something that I can't tell what they're trying to actually parody exactly.
I mean, you don't need to go to such lengths to have us not respect this guy. So he's a lech, he's a dumbass, he's lazy. I mean, good God.
He's dumb. He's comically dumb. Except I'm not laughing.
Ayo.
Anyway, we now begin a long-ass solo duty.
I did the whole rest of this.
Oh, thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
I will say, Jen,
page and a half now.
Despite my dislike of this quest line, I will definitely grant they have gone above and beyond with the intricacy of their solo duties. I don't love all of them, but I do respect their pushing the mechanical boundaries of this engine to its apparent max.
Yes. It feels so much more immersive. But yes, they really pull out all the stops.
Yep.
We follow the group of 10 false knights all the way to Steel Vigil.
At walking speed.
At less than walking speed. This is half walking speed. It's painful. So Jeanne Canard and Kimperan were You should put in the Family Guy Peter Griffin making up his own soundtrack as he sneaks through a school right there.
Fine. I don't like that show, but I'll do it for you, Jen.
Thank you. So, I take 5 steps and I wait for them to catch up. I take 5 steps, I wait for them to catch up.
But what's more, you are 20 feet behind them. If they were to look to the right, they would see you in the peripherals.
100%. We're right there.
The devs have not invented the follow a group closely, but not too closely technology until Endwalker.
Right, where people actually turn around and be like, "What was that noise?"
Yeah, nope. That's way too advanced right now.
God. Maybe the jangling of all their chainmail prevented them from even hearing our footsteps.
Yes.
Unbelievable. So, our fake astrologian night lady, she runs off after the leader commands her to, quote-unquote, get some meat for the journey. The long, arduous journey that will take days through thick snowbanks.
At this pace, it will.
Oh my fucking God. Yeah, I mean, it's literally 300 meters.
Right, everyone? Quarter time. Here we go.
Literally. So she goes off to fight like an ogre for some meat.
2 ogres.
Yeah, we're gonna eat, meat's back on the menu, blah blah.
Every time someone goes off in this fucking column, they get attacked immediately by like 2 guys, and we don't have to go there. They will die just like the wildlife.
Right.
We can just sit here and watch them take themselves apart, pretty much.
Like, no, she's cooked. That's fine. So we follow her, take her down. Then another guy peels off to go pee. We take him down. And then a third guy, Chirurgeon, runs off to a nearby bush and is doing
He's eating
something?
Or drinking something.
That's the thing. I couldn't actually tell because I didn't want to get too close to start some shit. Not that I couldn't handle it, but I was like, he's either eating like a big lamb chop or he's drinking something.
I couldn't tell. The motions are like that, but his hands are carrying the wand, the conjurer's wand.
Yes.
So I don't really know what.
Is he eating leaves? Because it's literally a motion of bringing something to your mouth. It's so bizarre, and he's hiding behind a bush to do it. I don't understand what he's doing.
Gotta sneak out for a little nip of my wand.
We'll never know. He's smoking. I don't know. Well, luckily, these guys, they're all traveling by foot, and we could eventually intercept them to rescue Lviva. And they're not attempting to board an airship or anything. Oh wait, is that the sound of an airship? Parked next to the arena in Steel
I just gotta
Vigil.
say, they have lost like a third of their people and nobody cares.
There's like the guy, she goes up to get meat, guy goes pee, and then the leader is like, come on men, file in, we can't wait for stragglers. She's 20 feet away. You guys have gone nowhere. Again, quarter speed. Parked right next to the arena in Steel Vigil is an airship. And standing in front of it is Charlian Albert Wesker. Why is there a Charlian scholar behind the plot to kidnap and murder a Charlian astrologian? This made no sense to me. It'll make sense in a second. Lviva is brought before him. These fools have led me straight to the answers I've sought since my arrival in this backwoods realm. That's
Jen,
what you're
yes, thank you.
And if I am not mistaken, my trusted companions should be arriving right about... And she glances to the entrance, and the 3 of us are clearly seen, not far away, scurrying up to her. Now! And she yanks the chain, shackling her to Mustache hard, knocking him to the ground.
Jen, I don't think you described this guy very much.
Well, like a purple faux hawk and a shit-fuck-ass mustache. With Temple Knight chainmail on.
I'm talking about the Charlian.
Oh, I said Charlian Albert Wesker, and I think that really conveys the vibe.
To me, nothing.
It's fine. So he looks like the biggest douchebag.
Yes.
Like villain douchebag.
He is like in the ski slope saving.
Straight up.
He's like the
rich kid who's
asshole.
going to buy the mountain and turn it into I don't know. Not a community
business
center,
park.
apparently. Yeah.
Anyway, we're conflating our stereotypes here, but go on.
I mean, he has a Charlian robe on, so the garb identifies him very clearly. But he's got that oily, slicked back hair, blonde hair, and some like literally like Matrix ass sunglasses on. That's it. That's all it takes for this guy to look like a huge.
Yes, and he does. She yanks the mohawk chain.
Mohawk chain, yeah, mustache, capital M.
Yeah.
Wesker brandishes his mage staff, and the other false knights gather around him.
Jen, this is the puppet master moment that I've been grumbling about, and this reeked to me of Arcanist, honestly. It's like, all right, all you fools, you're going to dance to my tune, and I'm going to have my secret plan to myself. I'll tell no one about, but switcheroo, it all came around like I planned.
Oh, was it the guildmaster?
Yeah.
I barely remember that. But we were very upset.
Yes, and I am upset now.
Yeah, no,
It's also so dumb, too. All right, I'm going to get captured, then I'll see who's capturing me. And that's it. That's the plan. Though she's been sitting on this shit for, I think, like 20 levels.
Yes. I feel like there are other things we could have employed to figure this out.
If either she's been planning this fucking shit the entire time, or literally it's like, all right, a lot of bandits, that's sure weird. More bandits, that's sure weird. Either one is dumb, but
correct.
One's probably dumber.
Probably. Mostly. Jeanne Kennard tells them, the moment they board that airship, everyone will know they're not real knights, and they'll pay for their crimes. He's still harping on the They're not real knights. Okay, bud. Wesker shoots back. He doesn't have a name, so I'm just calling him Wesker.
Understood.
Once we're in the air, it will not matter what anyone knows, you fool. We will not be returning once we have slain you and your friends. And now I'm remembering that Lviva mentioned Charlene's problem of hoarding knowledge and how they didn't want her to come over here. So I'm like, okay, so they're here to kidnap her back to Charlene so she doesn't tell anybody about how to do astromancy, which is insane. Insane. The lengths. Again, nobody's behaving like a person. Even Forlamort, that's a really hard name to say. Somebody from the forum sending someone to stop Lviva from spreading knowledge of the Charlene astromancy, it makes sense. I mean, it doesn't, but for the point of this narrative, it does, I guess. Okay. Wesker commands the false knights to take Lviva alive and kill the rest, and a fight ensues. After the scuffle, there is a sealed missive lying next to Wesker's body. Of all the fights, honestly, in the instances during this quest chain, I think this one was one of the easiest.
Yeah.
The one-on-ones I don't count, but this one I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be hard, like the Anchor Yard one.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, easy. Wesker goes down pretty fast. So now, Lviva explains how she knew the false knight was the false Astrologian immediately, and she knew if she played along, they would lead her.
So smart.
Fuck this whole thing. And she knew if she played along, they would lead her to the true perpetrators, and knew that the three of us would pursue. And she knew we'd end up at the sixth heaven's gate with me alive because the stars told her so.
There we go, Jen.
Oh.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, stars said so. Boom, story. So now it's lesson time.
Now let's wait 8 hours.
Yeah, we're just going to chill.
Foresee
also,
that.
Free airship.
Couldn't you have foreseen us being here at nighttime?
There are limitations to her power.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we open ourselves to the spear. The spear fills us not only with the power to overcome our enemies, but also the compassion that is necessary to grant those same enemies mercy by killing them faster. Now that we've opened ourselves to all 6 gates, the true journey begins. Now we can actually play the game. Jenna Kennard attempts to mimic Lviva's articulation of his significance in this whole exercise. Because he took us and Kimperin under his wing, and we ended up saving Lviva, it's as if he saved Lviva. But let's not dither about regarding his heroism. Let's take a look at this missive. Oh, goodness.
See, the trick is you have to say the stars foretold it, not that you did it. That's how
right.
you sound superior.
See, he doesn't know.
I read in the stars that my taking you under my wing would therefore lead to you saving Lviva, as
Right.
I foretold in the stars.
See, he's not a good salesperson.
Anyway, Jen, what's in this note?
So this the handwriting, the seal. Ooh, this all looks real familiar. This is Uncle Forlamort.
Okay, so we first thought the Ishgardians were targeting us, but it actually was the Charlians. But it actually was also the Ishgardians.
They fucking Forlamort somehow knew that the Charlians were not going to be cool with Lviva staying, so he found a simpatico mind at the forum and arranged this whole cockamamie scheme.
He just wrote all of them.
Dear Sir or Madam.
Yes. Did you know that there is a rogue astrologian? Unbelievable. When the Charlene douchebag showed up on with an airship, I'm like, what is happening? This is such a production. This is the most well-funded kidnapping thing. Hire some mercenaries, dude. They do this shit all day, every day, apparently. This means, Kimperin jumps in, it would mean the highest-ranking astrologian in all Ishgard has been attempting to assassinate us. And if the tribunal were to hear of this, he would be hanged. Way to go, Kimperin. You're no longer the second to last to arrive at the station. And if the tribunal were to know about this, Lord Forlamort would be hanged, and Lviva is not down with this course of events. Forlamort's execution will only serve to close additional minds to our discipline. What we can do is use this to our advantage. Not blackmail, she insists, but using the leverage of Forlamort's life against furthering our cause. No, totally above board. This will not blow up in our faces at any point in the future. And with that, Jeanne agrees to summon his uncle to the astroscope. Now we're all on the roof. Jeanne brings Forlamort to the roof of the observatorium, where the three of us are waiting. Lviva asks him, "Written any letters lately?" Jeanne then produces the missive. A letter carried by less than savory characters who attempted to kidnap Lady Lviva and deliver her to Charlians, not to mention kill me, my manservant, and my good friend Warrior of Light here, who you may have forgotten is an honored guest of House Foretold. Dude is busted, like thoroughly busted, and he's pissed about it. Not even a, sorry I plotted to murder my nephew. Forlamort gives his word on remaining silent on matters of Charlian astrology. He doesn't really have a choice here. But there are others who will see us fall. Lviva stands firm. She won't be intimidated. Her path is clear and she will walk it, guided by the stars. Forlamort regards her. The stars foretell many things, my dear, and not even the best readers can see them all. Do not forget this. And he leaves. Jeanne says, "So, we have silenced him. But to hear him tell it, he was the least of our worries." To be continued?
Yes.
Yes, to be continued.
Dun 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 dun.
Jen, I don't hate this quest line. I'm just disappointed in it. But seriously, though, it's like a bunch of stuff happening without anything really happening. It's not about opening gates, despite that being the motivation for for most of the steps. Lviva does the work for you. It's not about the frictions between Charlian and Ishgardian astrology, as that's all happening off screen except for the very finale. It's not about solving the conspiracy of who's targeting Mace and Lviva, as no one cares, apparently. And it's not about astrology itself, as nothing involving actual star reading or fortune-telling happens. It's just people being sanctimonious about their retconned foretellings. Mm-hmm. Oh, this happened because I said it would happen.
Oh.
I didn't tell you till after it happened, but I swear I foretold this.
I believe you.
I foretold it to myself. The actual predictive part of astrology is used as a punchline here, or as a hammer to beat people with one superiority. Mm-hmm. There's no actual fortune-telling or actual fate-weaving whatever happening here. It's all just a fucking bludgeon.
See, I fucking knew this was gonna happen. And then we can all be impressed.
And sure, we're given trivia about astrology. We learn about some stars, yes, but that's the extent of the actual involvement of astrology in the storyline. The whole thing's just surreal. It's so busy, but so disconnected.
Yep.
It's also a huge missed opportunity to actually have like a deep, nuanced storyline about fate, predictions, interpretations, misinterpretations, just something that weaves in the actual telling, the actual astrology that is on paper inherent to the job into the actual narrative. But nobody's actually doing the thing the job's about. It's just about political bullshit if it's about anything. So that's all I have to say, Jen, here. This fell completely flat for me. Maybe part 2 will hit harder, but part 1 was just...
wacky.
Yeah, just not...
Ain't it?
Anything, really. It's confusing, mainly, I think, about what they're going for and what their intent is and what's happening. Nothing makes any sense as far as actual motivations go.
Yeah, it's fortune teller tropes. Nothing new is said here. There's nothing compelling. I mean, these people are sympathetic would be great. If I could give shits about these characters, yep. I would appreciate it. I do give shits about Kim Perrin. Let's be clear. He's the least offensive.
There we go.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Jen, if you have no further comments, now for the promised talk about those cards. There are only 6 cards that the Astrologian job is concerned with at this time. the 6 arcana. They correspond to the 6 elemental heavens, and they serve as the symbolic link between the corresponding constellation and the recipient of that benediction, kind of like a focus. But the major arcana are only a part of a larger deck, a deck of 60, in fact. The deck is divided into the major arcana, the ewer, the bull, etc., and 54 minor arcana cards, which are not dissimilar to IRL playing cards. The minor arcana consist of 6 different suits, each one containing 9 cards. Each suit is associated with an element. We have crowns, lightning, cups, water, rings, earth, knives, wind, staves, fire, and irons, ice. Within each suit, there are 6 numbered cards and 3 face cards, the knave, the lord, and the lady, in ascending order. And the cards are used in both tarot-esque fortune-telling and also in like the non-scientific, non-Charlian fortune-telling, and also as just playing cards too.
Mm-hmm.
And some individual in real life, Jen, appears to have adapted this concept into an actual reference book, which I have ordered, and if it has legs, will probably be featured in an upcoming Card Sharks.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah. All right. So look at that, Jen.
Cool.
We're going to try and bring some actual interest to Astrologian here.
I'm down.
And just for the record, I do not hate the job because the quest line sucks.
Oh god, no, we would have to throw so many jobs away.
Yeah. But it's disappointing that this is the way it's being portrayed in the game. There are so many better versions of this quest line out there, hypothetically, than what we get here.
Womp womp.
Yep. All right. Any other comments about the episode, Jen?
No.
Great. Jen's done. All right, then. With all that done, we are taking a 2-week break for the holiday. We are already exhausted by December. It is only the 10th. For the Patreon, though, we have a couple things coming this month. There will be a talk about the Starlight Celebration event for everyone, for all subscribers, and a sightseeing log with Jen's continued Final Fantasy VI adventures. But wait, there's more.
Oh.
Starting in January, we have a lot of Card Sharks content coming up, including maybe the Deck of 60 Cardomancy book.
Maybe.
The Tabletop RPG Game Master's Guide, just released.
Oh, goodness.
Mahjong.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, featuring our recurring guest, Ned.
Ned.
And a very special Card Sharks, which I will reveal when it comes out.
It's not revealed to me.
Yeah.
So, cool.
It's going to be so much fun, Jen, though.
All right.
You can count on that. You can foresee that in the stars.
The stars will guide me. Yes.
All right. And of course, in January, we're back with the Astrologian Part 2 talk. So have a great December, everyone, and we will see you next time.
And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. And man, I've got 3 money and no pleasure barge. Why can't I have 3 pleasure barge and no money? If you want to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com. We are on the Blue Sky at podreturnffxiv. Check the show notes for our Discord. Get in there, chat with folks, give us pictures of your pets. Give us pictures of your pets. Share memes, I don't know, hang out. It's really great. We'd love to have you. And the link to the official pod shirt is there as well. And last but not least, our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. And for $1 a month, you get access to like a whole bunch of stuff, the Card Shark stuff, the seasonal episodes, anything else we decided to throw in there. And then for $2 a month, you get access to our bonus series, Sightseeing Log. And this season, we're playing Final Fantasy VI. And you can check out the previous season where Levi played Final Fantasy XI. And with that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.